Hello.
Okay, is that better?
Hello. We're live. Hooray. We did it. Success.
Yay, we're here.
It
All
only
right.
took 400 tries for us to get it right.
Oh, it wasn't 400 tries. It was like some tries last night. We tried for the entire duration of the podcast.
Yeah, pretty much.
And now we're only 20 minutes late from the agreed upon time, which makes a lot of sense.
All right.
We're Patriots. Yeah, and we're just exercising our First Amendment. So we can just do that whenever we want. No one can put any limits on that. You can't tell me when I have to say things. I'm a veteran in my truck.
Yeah. We're just...
Yeah, what do you...
So, for those of you who are joining, welcome to Two Patriots, a stream about two people who love America talking about other people who love America. It's featuring me, Leah, and Josh Warren, who some of you may or may not know. A little bit about Josh to give you his background so that way you know how to judge him properly. He is obviously a veteran, and he's ranting in his truck, so you know it's legit. He was a 275 Army Ranger, and he is now the co-owner of Milsim West and DesertFox events. He is a professional airsofter.
I am a professional airsofter. I guess I should intro you. So for those of you that don't know, Leah Maddox Del Castillo, she is a veteran airsofter.
Yeah.
Who's played for many, many years. She's been involved in the industry probably for at least the last 5 or 6 years, and is far more well-known than I am on the internet for playing airsoft, which she is much better at than me. She also shoots guns, which is how you know she loves America, and drives a truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
those are the guidelines.
She is a little outspoken for a woman who is also a Patriot, but I get it. We can't all be Tommy Lauren.
Yeah.
Leah also has the distinction of being blocked on social media
by Tommy
that
Lauren.
chick. Yeah, because Lauren, whatever.
Whatever
she,
name is.
She portrayed her in a video of hers about a BB Wars pretend game, and it made Tommy Lauren really mad.
Yeah,
and she blocked her, or whoever checks her shit. Right?
Yeah.
We were just talking about that earlier. Whether it's actually Joe Rogan not checking the comments, or if he has someone else, who knows?
Yeah, well, it happened pretty fast. As soon as I posted my Tommy Lauren cosplay, it was I got blocked within an hour.
And honestly, she should just be jazzed up that someone's trying to cosplay as her. I mean,
right?
You know, yeah, she's as popular as she's as popular as Kirkland Root Beer, man. You know, 150,000 people also like Kirkland Root Beer. Settle down, Tommy.
But they love Kirkland Root Beer. I tell you what, brother. So,
I mean, most makeup accounts have more social media clout than any political commentator.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Man, makeup accounts are where it's at because they have all the drama. They love talking about it, which is, I guess, this is what we're doing now. We're going to talk about the drama, and we're going to be as big as the makeup accounts.
Do you think we can do a whole podcast and not talk about airsoft yet?
Not talk about airsoft?
Yeah. What are we doctors now? We're just going to talk about epidemiology and outbreaks, or we're just making fun of people that are stupid?
Both. We're obviously doctors. Yeah. All you have to do is have an opinion on the internet, and you're a doctor.
Right.
You have all the opinions. So,
I mean, I will say that the best thing about this is how rapidly idiots have been wrong about their future predictions on Facebook comment threads.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Right.
The only thing that I almost wish the coronavirus was more like the flu, because the flu affected people within 3 days of contact, whereas coronavirus is we saw all the people gathering around, and then now we have to wait 2 weeks to find out what happens. Whereas with the flu, in Philadelphia, they told them not to have the parade when the Spanish flu broke out. They had the parade, and then 3 days later, something 10,000 people died or something like that.
Yeah, but it's fun to bump a thread 17 days later. Like, nothing's better than, like, 17 days later. Like, wow, incredible commentary. Everything you said is now wrong. I mean, for the most part, I feel like it's just the flu people have backed off the, like, number thing.
Yeah.
And now it's about, like, the case morbidity rate or something like that. I mean, I'm not going to pretend to be it seems like it's a moving target, right?
Yeah.
Like, first it was like, oh, well, the numbers aren't the same, and I don't care what any of the mathematical context is, you know, concerning exponents and the doubling rate of epidemics and shit like that. Like,
it's a cell phone
oh, it's just no, it's just like the dummy side. It's like, oh, well, only killed 10 people, flu killed 50,000. You know, it's like, okay, sure, yeah. There's no potential for any future speculative threats. Good point. Yeah. You know, because I'm not claiming to understand that shit, but it is interesting to watch the argument slide around.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So the most mind-boggling arguments that I wanted to talk about, as you know, this past weekend, everyone was holding the protests against being on lockdown, like, let us come out of our houses. And they're doing the protests with, like, the funniest thing to me about the people that are protesting is they are talking about how we're proving that we can handle this on our own. We don't need the government to tell us what to do. Yet they're at these protests, not doing any social distancing. Nobody's wearing face masks. Like, this is why the government is locking you down, you idiots. Because you're, like, going out and just being freaking dumbasses. And really loud ones.
Well, I mean, I think the flip side of that is I think that there weren't really, like, significant numbers of protesters. I feel like maybe it's just being played up a little heavier. Because they're probably the extra crazy motherfuckers who are like, yeah, I'm gonna go protest with my fucking Condor body armor and my budget rifle, which is just like, armed protest is kind of weird, man. It's like, this is just my personal opinion, but if it's time to protest, then just go protest, right? And if it's gotten to the point where you need to get out in the street with your gun, like, shoot from a concealed position inside a building out into the street at other people. Don't go out in the street and, like, yeah. That's like, that feels like civil disobedience with firearms 101 is like, don't let them know you have guns, man. Right?
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, just have them. And then when it pops off, just, like, start shooting people out of your cellar with, like, a bunch of furniture piled in front, you know, like,
yeah,
you know, bust out, like, a manual and look up how to build a little sniper hide and do it or something. I don't know, man. It's like, I don't understand the, like, protesting with guns if you're not going to use them, because it just gives the ammunition to the government to basically say, like, oh, they were armed. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. And most of the people that do protest with guns, not always, but most of the time, they just look and act like dumbasses. And
definitely. I mean, I think it'd be more. I mean, if you were going to do a gun protest, then I feel like it would be like everybody wear, like, business attire.
Yeah.
Everybody wear a suit or some reasonable business attire and, like, sling your weapon and don't wear a bunch of fantasy operator kit and just show, you know, if you're a doctor, wear your doctor outfit, right? Like, seriously, like,
yeah,
you know, everybody come, wear your professional attire, wear your professional working attire. Just wear that and bring your gun, and that would look better on camera.
Yeah.
But people who are doing that kind of shit don't care. Like, I mean, you know, to some degree I do that as a marketer, right? Like, I'm trying to show people the thing that's most likely to offend them. So.
Yeah. Yeah, but, I don't know. The dudes that are doing it right now and the people that are complaining about, like, our government being tyrannical by telling people to stay at home, it's annoying me that everyone is associating, like, anyone who owns a gun with those people. Like, if you own a gun, then you're going to be out at protests being a fucking idiot because you don't know how to stay home for 2 weeks, or, like,
better than the alternative, though, which is, like, everybody thinks you own a gun because you want to go shoot up a fucking neighborhood school or something. You know, I mean,
what?
That's kind of what I feel. Well, I mean, better than, it's like, people always associate gun owners with the most negative aspects of private gun ownership anyway, right? Like every time there's a mass shooting, it's like it's your fault because you're a gun owner, and that's who people in your family know to be like, why do you need that? You know, that kind of bullshit, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, right. It's my pleasure. It's like, whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. But I feel like, you know, in normal times, it's like every time, you know, especially whenever there's these high profile mass murders like they just had in Canada, I feel like that's when all the friends and family members that are, you know, feel the other way about private gun ownership are like, see what it does?
Yeah.
You know, which is like, yeah.
But
so
like,
it's like at least now.
Bringing them to protest is like, what the fuck is a gun gonna do for you at a coronavirus protest? Like,
no, I mean, definitely, but I think the hundreds of people, not tens of thousands of people that came out to protest at these, it's like, they're the fucking extra losers.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of the people who are talking about how fucking cool it is on the internet are like not actually doing it because they're like, I don't know, I don't want to get it. You know?
Yeah, I don't think.
I mean, there's even pictures of people, condor plate carrier, fucking flu mask, you know, rifle in hand. It's like, okay.
Like we're not anywhere close to having such a tyrannical government that them telling you to stay at home because you might get other people sick. I don't understand the people that think that it's going to turn into like this. They're like, it's a slippery slope, and the next thing you know, they're going to be making us wear stars on our giant yellow stars on. Like, no, like the same people that got mad at the analogies of liberals saying that Donald Trump is the next Hitler are now literally comparing a lockdown to like being oppressed like the Jews, and it's just like. Oh my god, you guys. It's kind of embarrassing, really.
No, I mean, people are doing dumb shit in other countries too, though. My uncle just did this story. So he works for CNN in Spain, and he just did some story about how, like, people are, like, you know, cyberbullying National Health Service workers on the internet in Spain. Because, like, you know, I guess there's, like, a popular conspiracy that... You know, the government caused it to control everybody or some shit by creating. It's like, trust me, it's not just us.
Yeah.
I mean, Canada just had a mass shooting. Like,
that was like that wasn't a mass shooting though. That was like it wasn't. It was like a serial killer basically because he was just driving around and going like shooting random people. He like did it through like for like a whole day, right? Are we talking about the same thing?
Yeah, that's the same thing.
That was like impersonating a cop and just drove around for a day just shooting people?
Yeah. That's like still mass shooting. You know what I mean? It's like, it's slow, but like, you know, I mean, it's not like DC Beltway sniper slow, but like,
yeah.
You know, I mean, how long did he expect to carry that on until somebody figured it out?
Spree killing. Yeah, that's a good one. Thanks, E-House. You right. That's what it's called.
Yeah, there you go. Well, no, because sure, right. Mass killing, you're thinking like people in a gymnasium or something.
Yeah, that's what you think of. Yeah. Like one location.
That doesn't happen in other countries. Family members have said that to me. And then I tell them about the Beslan school siege in Russia, and they're like, oh my God. And you're like, where did this happen? And you're like, oh, this was in Russia, man. You know, and they're like, what? Well, it was like once, right? It's like, no. Like, then again in the Opera House, and like, you know, I mean, it's, yeah, I had a family member once, we were just hanging out, and they were like, oh, my foreign friends are afraid to come to here. And I'm like, because of what? Because of the gun violence epidemic. It's like, everybody who said that, now we have an epidemic. So shut the fuck up with that, please. You know? Yeah.
It's an
Jesus.
epidemic.
Can we talk about, like, can we never talk about more gun control again and just, like, put all that energy into, because it kills more people than guns, bro.
No, people are still talking about it because now everybody's buying guns because they're scared because of the pandemic. So that means more school shootings. I actually talked to somebody about that, and I was like, or maybe this break from school will make kids hate their life less because they won't be getting bullied all the time, so they won't be snapping. So maybe it'll be a good thing.
Maybe. I mean, I think bullying is an important part of being in society, personally. But
No
I
way.
mean, you know, that's yeah. I mean, that's I don't think it's fair to murder people because they bully you, but whatever. You know, I think the best thing to do to people that bully you is make them regret it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what
Right.
they think they're doing.
Yeah, but if they're dead, they can't regret it. That's different.
They regret it up until right before, I guess.
Yeah, not satisfactory.
I mean, I agree that I don't think it's. I don't. I mean, I never think that it's really acceptable because I'm a hippie like that. But I, I do think that school has been getting like increasingly worse. Or I don't know. I just think kids are terrible. I think that's why we have school shootings because kids are terrible, not because we have guns,
okay.
but
You
because
heard
kids
it
are
here.
terrible.
Leah Maddox Del Castillo thinks kids are terrible, and that's why we have school shootings. Nice.
I mean,
that'll show them. No, I mean, shut up, liberals. That's why.
I mean, all the worst, like all the shittiest comments that I see on YouTube and on the internet are either from like
Me.
no, not like 60-year-old dudes or 14-year-old kids. Like it's either Bubba Moore or like somebody's like a 13-year-old. They're basically the same person.
I mean, I don't even know. That's me. I am a troll, so I can't even say like what the demographics of other trolls are. But that is the kind of people that. I mean, everybody thinks they read everything in like a fucking internet thread now, and you know, it's like you got to learn to read in between the lines. I don't know how to explain that. Like, is there a bias in media? Definitely. Can you figure out what's going on despite the bias? Sure. It's not like there hasn't always been a bias in reporting of anything in all of human history. So, but it's like, but it's like saying it's this whole other narrative. It's like people are taking like, well, not a whole lot is actually known about this virus yet, and making it like it's 5G towers or it was engineered in a lab, right?
Yeah.
Like, right. And it's like the answer is the simplest. It's like conspiracy theories, right? Like there are real conspiracy theories like Jeffrey Epstein and his famous associates.
Right.
Right? Fucking teenage girls.
Yeah.
And then people spin that into like all of Hollywood has to fuck a 12-year-old in this one pizza shack in Maryland. Otherwise you can never be a star. And like it's like this underground church that all these people like fuck 12-year-olds or whatever. And like that's, you know, it's like you're taking away from the real shit. Which is like, you know, Prince Andrew is probably a pedophile. Bill Clinton, probably a pedophile, right? Like,
yeah, lots of people
lots of famous. Right. That's what I'm getting at. And instead of that, we're just like, oh, everyone in Hollywood who's famous, everyone in politics, they all rape children together in secret ceremonies. It's like, none of these people think they're doing bad things. Do you know what I mean? Like, they don't think they're doing the wrong thing. They're, you know, it's not like they did satanic rituals and then fuck teenage girls. It was like, here's how I think it would go down, right? That you get on the plane, Jeff makes everything seem cool. Oh yeah, the girls dig it. Oh, you know, well, we're in international waters and she knows what she's doing, you know. Yeah, I like, it's not like it was some thing where they all put on like a fucking, you know, weird mask and stripped naked and like fucking slit their wrists and killed a chicken on the floor and then like, you know, chained this chick to the wall and gang raped her, right? With like spooky music playing. You know,
I mean,
it's
maybe. Could be the Freemasons, man.
Maybe, but doesn't it seem more likely that like Jeff just kind of was like, hey man, you know, these chicks know what's up, like, you know, have another drink, have a line, like, you know, Daisy loves it, right? Like,
yeah.
So instead of focusing on what a piece of shit he is and those people are for like buying into that bullshit, because of course they know it's not chill, right? We're like telling some story about a bunch of people wearing fucking cult masks, you know? It's like, come on, man. And then there's stories about sex cults. There's actual sex cults out there, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So
it's like the conspiracy theories. It takes away from like, yeah, there are conspiracies. There are things that.
It takes away from like the legitimate conspiracies.
Yeah, well, just like things that large, powerful interests are trying to conceal from the general public because it's uncomfortable to think about, because it's horrible. There are horrible things happening that people in positions of power are covering up and allowing to happen.
For sure.
And not even just like good old-fashioned incompetence, right?
Yeah.
Like malicious, like let's fuck 15-year-old girls or whatever, like shit like that on your airplane, on your island, whatever.
I really like how we got from the Rona to pedophiles.
Hey man, shout out to my friend who thinks it's all part of the plan.
Coronavirus in America. It's part of the plan. Coronavirus is part of the plan to get rid of all the pedophiles, right? That's one of the theories.
That's a theory I've heard. But, I mean, on the flip side of it, there's also people like my mother who made a bunch of fucking masks for everybody, and that's cool. And definitely I have face coverings, but is super freaking out about when Brian came to visit, right? He'd basically been sheltering at home as long as he'd had interactions with people, but we were trying to contact trace the whole fucking family, right?
Yeah.
And because we're all pretty low risk anyway, whatever. It's a very small gathering, right? And he came over and hung out. And she was worried about that, I'm trying to go camping as soon as I can with my family.
Dude, I want to go camping so bad.
Okay, well, let's not bring our personal planning into this, but as soon as I...
Right.
But this first game, okay, so there is another side. Why do we get into because there's people the quarantine's bullshit. Oh, we should be doing whatever we want, right? That kind of thing. I think there's some activities we could be doing. I don't know if we again, not a doctor, but I don't know. Do we all necessarily need to stay in our houses? That sort of thing. Is dispersed camping in a national forest okay? I'm not even anti the golf course thing for the most part, just because it's you're pretty far from each other at golf.
Yeah, except for when you're in the cart.
Sure, I mean theoretically you should be walking, but I mean I just rode bikes past the golf course today, and I passed probably 8 people, on a bike trail, right?
So what do we think about AIRSOFT? Should that be okay?
It seems I'm not doing it. Obviously I make my living producing aerosol events. I'm not doing that right now. A big part of that is just because there's so many places where there are tight restrictions and people are worried about leaving or being able to come back. And, it's just, it's not an ideal scenario, but I'd rather make the call too conservatively than not conservatively enough.
Yeah.
I'd hate to go back to doing business and then have there be a second wave or a third wave. Maybe we just find out this is how it's going to be for years.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to play airsoft. I freaking hate the bang bang rule anyway. I hate I don't know, having to be 10 feet apart.
You're talking about having to have social distancing rules at an airsoft game.
Well, that's how the fields that are there's a couple fields that I know of that are still running games, and they're we're only allowing so many people. They have to stay this far apart. I don't know. That doesn't even sound that fun to me, honestly. Having to be 10 feet away from everybody all the time.
Well, it's not even this. Here's what I would say, because without getting into the specifics of any one particular kind of business, this is my take on it as a business owner, right? It could not possibly be worth the limited revenue that I would be getting right now for remaining open to then be so wrong about this later that I lose rapport with my community or my customer base. So by the time I'm ready to come back to work, and we all are, no one wants to fucking deal with me anymore, because it's just is the juice worth the squeeze?
Yeah.
What if I go out and do a 400-person event that gets a ton of coverage? It's all over social media. Maybe that New York Times article finally comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's gets real public exposure, and then it's oh, these are the fucking people that then we have the second wave that kills fucking 1 million people or something, because it's fucking zombie virus or whatever. I mean, it's like that's a legitimate concern.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe
the second wave for sure.
Well, yeah, certainly a second wave. I mean, isn't there some? Again, not a doctor, but like, there's some possibility that everybody dies on a. What if everybody dies from this thing on like a 12-month timeline or something? Do you know what I mean?
Well,
what if we don't even know? What if there's like some secret hidden? I mean, I'm being hysterical, but it's like
no.
Yeah, but I mean, not me.
Yeah.
I'm a veteran in my truck, and I'm just talking about common sense stuff that we all know. And I'm not getting frustrated. I'm not angry at myself or my steering wheel, and I'm not trying to make my points.
You need to bang your steering wheel more often to be a real veteran. Real veteran in truck.
I haven't watched like that much of that genre. I just get a lot of ads for it. It's like business success seminars. I don't watch a bunch of business success shit, but I get like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, fucking every other social media feed out there is like, oh, you're this person, right? Here's a bunch of fucking ads.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in a relationship with a man in college on Facebook, and
you were in a relationship with a man? Is that what you said?
No, like just on Facebook.
Yeah.
yeah. We were both in the Army. It was like we were protesting "Don't Ask, Don't Tell," basically. And then I've been in a relationship with Jim Hansen on Facebook with the Josh Warren profile for like 6 years or something. It's been complicated for a while between us.
You guys have been through a lot.
Yeah, it's like he's got all these pictures of his girlfriend and shit, and we're like still in a relationship on Facebook. So Facebook sends me a lot of like gay island cruise, like check out
really?
This hot, like men's underwear, and I'm looking at this underwear like, dude, that looks like you spilled like neon powder on your dick. Like, who wears that? And then I think more about it, and I'm like, oh wow, that's an awfully structured garment for being, and then I'm like, oh, I see, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So,
Josh, we're rich now. Jacob Casey donated $5 to our stream.
We're getting paid for this?
Yeah, well, we just did. Jacob Casey gave us $5.
Wow.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Jacob. You're number one. What would you like a veteran in his truck to rant about?
Exactly. What can I do for you? What bullshit bias do you need confirmed by a veteran?
He did ask what's better, M4 or AK. What should he get?
Well,
I said M4 just because it's more cross compatible with everything like gear, mags, parts,
so
everything else. But AKs are cooler.
If you want to prove that you definitely do not have sex with men at all, then you should get an M4 to show everyone how much you love America. But if you want to do whatever my preference is, then you should get an AK. And if you want to let everyone know that you're asexual, you should get any G36 series.
He said, "Okay, well, I'm not gay."
Do you like high cap mags?
Ooh, and Lutz donated $1 whole. Wow.
That's incredible. Wow.
Man, we're going to be rich by the end of this podcast, Josh. God. You'll never have to work again.
Actually, so this could be, I think maybe we found our niche, is we do like demographic specific bias validation for your Facebook opinion.
Yeah. Do you need your opinion validated? Come on here and give us money, and then we'll validate it for you. Isn't that how all media works?
I see. Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, that was a joke.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you have any? What bias can I validate? Or maybe Leah can validate. I don't know.
Can he get more BBs or an HJ at the next MSW? No.
He could get... No.
I don't know.
No, he could... It could be... I would do either one of those. I'll do one of those. We'll see which one. He's got to come to find out.
Oh, dang. E-House gave us $3 just to support bullying. He wants to support you specifically and bullying specifically.
Okay.
Nice.
Bullying is an important part. As an older brother. Okay, this is important. My brother actually just brought this up to me the other day. Because, like, twice in my adult life, my brother has kicked the shit out of me. In my defense, he was drunk both times.
He is a very large man.
Well, that doesn't matter. I just mean that, like, in his defense, he probably wouldn't do that if he was sober.
Oh, anyway, right.
Yeah. Like, but I was pretty salty about both of them for a while. So he was telling the story the other day about, like, yeah, man, so then, we were probably about, you were like 13, so I was like, 11, and yeah, you were totally mounted, just punching me in the face. And then Liv came in, our sister came in the room, and I'm like, what? Like, I don't even remember. I'm like, what? Me? Hit my little brother? Like, and I think we were telling a story about how my sister bit him in the ass to the point that it drew blood.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, and he was setting up the story, and it was, like, so casual. He was just like, well, you were trying to beat me up, and then I pissed her off, and then you got tired of that and just watched us fight, and then, like, Mom and Dad came home, and, I got the last whatever in on her. She ran up and bit me in the ass as they walked in the door.
Wow.
And it made me think back, and I was like, wow, man, I really, like, pushed a lot of negative vibes throughout my entire sibling unit. And to be honest, like, it worked out great. Everybody's doing awesome.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't really get bullied. I just got, my family made fun of me, like, all the time. All the time. But we never got in, like, any knockdown, drag-out fights, except once. Me and my brother that's 1 year older than me got in, like, a knockdown drag-out fight one time, and that was it. But I don't really think that did anything for me, other than I figured out that I could probably beat up boys.
Nice.
If I really want to. Yeah. But having hair is a liability, man.
Oh, geez.
Ooh.
Well, you get, like, a breakaway weave. That's got to be a product. Right? Ooh. Somebody's got a breakaway weave out there.
Oh no, I'm echoing. Rip. Sorry. I don't know. My, let me, ooh. So, hopefully that'll fix it. Oh, Corey from Gun Gamers. Man, we're making all...
It's not about the Rona.
What? No, it's not.
No. Well, should we get back to that?
Yeah, we need to be talking about the Rona and all the dumb people. But before we do,
we're not hackers or that smart.
Corey from Gun Gamers donated $2. Nice. Because Gun Gamers has tons of vets, so we're valid, right?
That's true. That's actually true. In fact, we got to get, like, guest vet. We got to get guests we got to get, like, everyone we know on.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, yeah, because then you can just, like, you knock it out by demographics, and then we just let people know what demographics are coming up each week to validate your bullshit opinion.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because we could even reach out. Look, we got family members, friends, people with different backgrounds. That's all you need, right? Like, you could have a scientist validate your bullshit opinion. You could have a doctor validate your bullshit opinion, right?
Yeah.
Like,
okay, so what bullshit opinion should we validate about the Rona?
Definitely, what bullshit opinions should we validate?
Man, that makes me worried because so many bullshit opinions are already validated, like 5G, like cell phone towers cause the Rona.
Yeah, there's a lot of, it's been engineered, it was in a lab, but I think part of what's giving those things legs is essentially Chinese state-controlled media. There's no free press, right?
Yeah.
So no one really knows what exactly happened at inception, whereas it's a lot easier to see even the blunders of a state with free press.
Yeah.
Like, Isn't that? I mean, that's right. Like that's kind of it. So I think that's what gives all that shit legs. And so like, there's been a lot of like fake news, yada yada yada. At least we have a free press. Like even though it's fake and bullshit, can't you read between the lines?
Well,
like, can't you read like major news outlets and see if they're in agreement?
Yeah.
Can't you compare conservative and liberal sources?
Yeah, that's exactly what you should do. That's what, when people are like, if you watch this news source or if you got your information from this news source, then you're like objectively wrong about anything. Or I got my information from this random YouTube video and I don't trust any news. Like, okay, if you're not going to trust any news, then you have to do all your own research and you have to cite your sources. You can't just like make up bullshit, quote it, and be like, this is what I believe about the Rona, and I know that it's true because I fucking made it up.
Well,
like you,
yeah, but
I don't know. You have to.
I mean, like Facebook isn't like an academic paper where you got to have a bibliography, right? Like people are just gonna believe the comments they like and thumb them up, and then fucking mad react to comments they don't like, or laugh react them, or whatever fucking passive aggressive thing you do. Because I've got my own system.
I'm just saying,
I wish it was better.
If you're going to quote something as the truth, then you should be able to back it up with references or like some reasoning as to how you got there, rather than just being like, I watched 6 YouTube videos and now I'm an expert.
Okay. Yeah, but a lot of people will just sidestep that anyway, right? And be like, well, it could. You can't prove it's not.
Oh,
I mean, it's the same reason people... Oh, do we have audience interactions?
Yeah, Jacob Casey gave us another $2, asking us to come play Airsoft in Oklahoma. And Mark Botello gave us $2 for Zoe. That's not yours, Josh. That's Zoe's $2.
Dude, we got to do an episode about kids and money and get Jacob's children to sit in the truck.
Oh, Lutz commented that there was a lady shooting a .22 at cell phone tower workers today because she wanted to stop 5G.
Yeah, there's also there was some reporting about people burning 5G towers in England, or in Scotland rather. A guy burned a 5G tower or something like that. And but I mean, people also So I was thinking about this as I was coming back today. Is like I literally have my blood transfused with internet anger like every night, right? Every night to keep myself young. I have my girlfriend Kayla draw internet anger out into a syringe and inject it into my vein.
Nice.
To keep me alive.
Nice.
And the wave is as high as it's ever been. As it has ever been, because it's also an election year, so like people are getting really fucking crazy. I mean, that's why it's an election year. So it's like, that's why you have Trump insurgent supporting idiot protesters who aren't even really protesting in significant numbers.
Yeah.
It's not unheard of for a president to support protesters, right? Or at least say things that are friendly towards them. It's certainly happened in the last administration.
Yeah.
So that's not like unheard of. It's just that like, this is the thing he chose to do it about is weird. But either way, I gotta understand that it's like, so we're repeating the last election, except with like 2 old guys. And
2 old guys who like have problems with touching people.
and it's like, and everyone's freaked out, man. Everyone's freaked out. I mean, a good percentage of I think more people are actually unemployed or now underemployed than is even being reported. Do you get what I mean? Like, what do people like, me and Brian, for example, what do we do? Who do we go, like report that to? Mm-hmm. Right? If you're somebody who's working for yourself with like less than a dozen people or something, what really, what are you going to?
You're basically fucked. Like, because
right.
the government, they're really only giving money to like people with around 500 people, and that's like a small business. Oh no.
Is it still streaming? What happened?
No, I don't know what happened.
I'm still here. I can't see you though.
You're still here. I'm not. Apparently, my video turned off. Well, let's get you in there.
No.
Oh no! Whoa!
It's just me. Hey, everybody, it's me, Josh. I'm just gonna talk to myself about things that are so.
Well, you can rant. Corey gave us $2 and said China created the coronavirus as a weapon. That's what veterans are saying.
Okay. Yeah. So
that's a good riff.
Yeah, I'm ready for that. Okay. I mean, this is something I truly believe in. So, as the owner of Milsim West, sometimes people are asking me, "Hey, man, why'd you call it Milsim West?" And I'm like, "Hey, man, it's because the Milsim Western Hemisphere. Because the Great War is the only war that matters. The Eastern Hemisphere versus the Western Hemisphere. And if Russia and Europe want to get smart about it, they can declare themselves part of the Western Hemisphere. But if not, they can burn in the fucking fires with China. That's fine with me." Right. Yeah. China made up the coronavirus to get the 5G in. Italy and Spain are doing their part to amplify it. It's about time. We've got all these nuclear weapons. Yeah. Let's get to it, man. Let's just, China's building islands. Let's go. I don't see what's the possible downside. I mean, we're getting crowded here. It would solve a lot of problems.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Right. If we just removed 60% of the Earth's population, 70%, I don't even know. There's a lot of fucking people in the Eastern Hemisphere. Way more than in the Western Hemisphere.
Ooh, sorry, I'm trying to fix our thing.
No, it's fine.
I broke it.
Sorry, Australia. Sorry, Japan. Sorry, Korea. I mean, the Great War's coming, guys. We got to get dragons. We got to get a bunch of mercenary dudes in kinky leather, and we got to stop them.
We're going to stop everybody with kinky leather.
I heard kinky leather stops Chinese coronavirus. Actually, if you have been paying attention to the news, there are certainly Germany. I believe somebody was reporting today, The Guardian, which might be kind of a bullshit. I heard that's kind of left leaning as far as UK sources go, but there was reporting about how Germany sent a bill to China for damages.
Really?
I don't know what that entails, right? I feel like maybe it's a thing where they're just we're having a trade negotiation. Did you see that giant spreadsheet that we sent you of how much you owe us? We'll just count that against the interest rate or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you actually understand economics, go ahead and let me know what's up in the chat.
Yeah, let us know. I'm sure China is going to get right on paying that. Right on it.
I believe Brian has a minor in economics. We should probably get Brian on expert.
We need the Bringles.
Yeah.
Just to educate us. Who in this chat is a economics professor? We need our economics professors to weigh in right now. What?
Do you think we need a blackboard, man? You remember when Glenn Beck did the blackboard thing?
Mm-hmm.
He started wearing patch arm jackets, and his whole show he'd start in his easy chair and then he'd get up and start ranting by the blackboard.
Yeah. So we need a conspiracy theory blackboard with Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia just being this is connected to this because of the cell phone towers transferring.
I have my motif, veteran and truck.
Yeah, you need
I think I need an American flag back there.
An American flag and a flip down whiteboard.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then I can make little X's and O's and be you're gonna run the Biden up the middle and double down on the. I don't know about football actually. I don't know anything about football, but I was saying before, I think everybody's going through the same shit for the most part, right? Even people that are still working right now, you got to have some concerns about what this means for everybody in the long term, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's actually we're upset, and of course when you're scared and stressed out and vulnerable and you don't know what the future holds, you're gonna lash out at other human beings. That's what we do. Yeah, I mean, I gotta spread my negative energy on the internet daily just to get it out there. So
Yeah.
let everybody know. Yeah.
Gotta spread it and then get it injected at night just to keep you fresh all the time.
Exactly. So now like it's like everybody's on my usual bike path. Like this is where I go on Tuesdays to spread negativity and hate in the world. Now everybody, it's like when nobody used to be in these fucking city parks.
Dude.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I think that the negativity and like the conspiracy theories overall are just on the rise just because everyone is at home with nothing to do. Or so many people are at home with nothing to do. So they literally do, like, we're all PhDs in keyboard warring.
And like, people don't want to. I feel like there's a general sense that people don't want like the mistakes of the past to be repeated, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why a lot of left-wing people are like hesitant to get on like anti-Chinese rhetoric, which I feel like is the one thing that could bring the left and the right together in this country. But it's like, as long as the left was fully satisfied that we weren't being racist against Asian Americans, but just like actually disliking the current Chinese government and state, and their like lack of free press, maybe everybody could just get on board with like free press for China or something, right?
Yeah, well, that's what everybody was into with like all the initially at Hong Kong when it was all going down, and then now it's just like, ooh, now I don't want to say anything at all.
Hong Kong's like an even well, it's because nobody knows what to say yet, right?
Yeah.
Like we don't actually know, like, it to be fair, like seems like China has a pretty good lock on what goes on there. I mean, if Trump had some like drop dead solid, like here's the fucking deets, pictures of missile silos photoshopped into Iraq. Colin Powell, get up here, tell us about it. He would do it. I mean, if George Bush did that shit, like, right? Like, you don't think that if Donald Trump had anything at all?
Oh, he'd be on it, man.
Right.
I feel like he would.
They made it in China. And like,
he's probably got too many.
There's none of that.
He's probably got too many businesses over there, though.
No, I don't think.
Maybe that's why he's not doing it.
I feel like the whole like him sparing his businesses is because he likes to go to those resorts or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I feel like it's like it's almost just a cover to have his like retreats. Like, oh, who the fuck knows, man?
Back to the Rona. I don't really understand people that legitimately think that they're transferred via cell phone towers, though. Makes no sense. Like,
I don't know if I've met anyone who legitimately believes that.
My parents think that Bill Gates created the Rona. There's those people. They've been sending me YouTube videos about how Bill Gates created the Rona and telling me not to bury my head in the sand. Kansas.
Okay.
Huh?
Maybe. Sure. But
maybe Bill Gates created the Rona?
Like, maybe some billionaire was like, we'll solve it all. We won't have to live green because we'll just kill everyone. And I got the software to do it. It's like, even like, it's like, what do rich people want to do with their money before they die? Get places named after themselves, right? Like, be remembered well, that they're terrible people or whatever. They like fucked kids in a pizza parlor, Maryland, with Hillary Clinton making a blood eagle upside down or something. Like, it's they don't want to be remembered for that, right? They want to be remembered as. So it's like all these conspiracy theories require this sort of like immortal, omniscient evil person, right? That's like, and that's why I poisoned the water and I.
Yeah. Yeah, just one person. One person. Right.
Or even then, it's like, or a cabal of 12 or something, It's just like, it does, I don't know, man. I'm just like, for me, all that shit is like, again, you're missing the real conspiracies, right? You're missing the, like, Epstein killed himself in prison.
Yeah. Well, maybe the Rona was started by Bill Gates to keep us from thinking about Jeffrey Epstein, because Bill Gates is also part of the Jeffrey Epstein circle. So Bill Gates is just going to kill everybody.
I mean, if you want to get real shit on Bill Gates, look at all his depositions in the like antitrust lawsuit way back when.
Yeah.
To be honest, like if you want some really like, you know, it's like Bill Gates has always been he's not a particularly personable guy, right? Like he's no Steve died of cancer guy. So
I don't know.
I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Almost pretty much all super successful, super rich people are like that, though. That's not just Bill, like, just kind of shitty to other people, really selfish, very self-interested, only cares about their business and their money. Like, that's why they're super fucking rich. Because they put themselves above everything else, and that's how you make money.
Well,
basically.
Maybe that's how you keep the reins of control on huge conglomerates, right?
Spartanator says Bill Gates is a saint. Woo!
Who says this?
Spartanator. He gives free textbooks. He does do a lot. Like, he does.
Yeah.
He creates vaccines. He gives it.
He creates vaccines, does he? Well, I'll tell you what. As a U.S. Army patriotic veteran, I know that Bill Gates creates vaccines, and vaccines are made of dead babies and cause coronavirus.
Yeah.
They're trying to kill all the Christians.
As E-House says, free textbooks laced with the corona.
Right. See? Yeah, it's just like the Indian blankets that we use to realize our manifest destiny and move across these lands.
The smallpox blankets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that might be not a real thing, though.
Smallpox blankets?
Like, so there's some study that says potentially, like, it was inadvertent.
Yeah. Well,
that it was like,
I think most
it was inadvertent and it was bound to happen, essentially.
I think that's the case with most spread of disease. Like, once it starts, you can't really contain it. Especially when if you interact with anybody, you can't contain it. If we were all hermits.
Well, I think it depends on the, right? Like,
yeah,
like definitely some things are harder to catch than others. HIV certainly. Like Hep C. No, I mean, Hep C.
Yeah.
I think Ebola is scary, but like not as deadly as like this because you have to like basically touch the fluids or the blood. So, that's actually a little easier to avoid. But I think part of the problem is it's healthcare workers pretty hard, and that causes a lot of. I'm not super knowledgeable in this area. I would have read up.
You're not super knowledgeable about vaccines?
Vaccines, Bill Gates.
I mean, you're in a truck, man. You have all the right opinions because you're a veteran in a truck. Just speak with confidence. You're so good at it.
Isn't that supposed to be the irony of this show, though? Mm-hmm. Or you just want me to do what I do all the time in everyday life?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the irony of the show, although I'm sure there'll be plenty of people that don't get it. Because...
yeah, I mean, everybody is wrong. I'm right.
Yeah.
If there's anything I know about being a veteran and driving a Ford truck, it's that Chevy truck drivers are sissies. And, no one does this with, like, mid-sized sedans, Oh, you got the Corolla. It's like, nobody does that. It's just truck owners that are, oh, yeah, Ford tough, huh?
Yeah, you got to show them. I'm a truck driver. I own a truck. That means I'm a real man.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, you got the CRV, not the RAV4, huh? Yeah. Wow, what are you going to do when it's like, dude, shut the fuck up with your car stuff. God. It's not a Nissan truck. Here's looking at you, Spongler Weebles. It's probably fine. And, it's like, even then, it's like, cars generally work to maintain. Some cars are worse than others.
Okay, so... Back to our Rona conspiracies.
Yes.
As a veteran, Josh, Do you
Yes.
believe that our government is being tyrannical in making people stay at home? Is this an overreach of power? Did you fight overseas just so the government could tell you to stay at home?
I see what you're getting at. So I know that my buddies didn't die face down in the muds of Afghanistan because I see. Okay, yes. So the reason that the whole war happened and I was in it is so that I could have this opinion and be right. And if you disagree with me, you hate my dead buddies and you hate me for trying to save your life in the war. And as a veteran, I am really fucking pissed at everybody who's celebrating the low price of oil. My friends fucking died to keep the price of that oil way up. So you guys better show some respect and nobody buy any gas or you killed my friend. I think that if I completely lost my train of thought there, man. It's like
just gotta buy more gas. Buy more gas.
No.
Be an American. Show us how much you support America by buying gas, even if you don't need it. Brother.
I think that people are, ultimately we're just afraid to admit what we don't know. Everybody wants to say they know in this situation.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man.
Well, and everybody's trying to predict what's going to happen. Like, I don't know. I think that this is a really unique time in history. So we can't say that because since we're too stupid to obey social distancing, like just because the government is telling us that we should stay at home doesn't mean that they're going to like tell us what to do for the rest of our lives. Even though they essentially already do. That's why we have laws. But
right.
we're not going to be trapped in our houses forever. This is just like until we figure out what's going on. And the longer that people keep going outside and like disobeying
it's like this
freaking common sense.
And, like public health don't always move at the speed of a 24/7 news network.
Yeah.
Totally. I think if you're somebody who has a disease that it takes a long time to get the right medication for, you actually probably already understand what.
Yeah, but
because you're just going through it, waiting for them to figure it out, right? And that's what we're all doing collectively. We have a collective disease that it's going to take a while to figure out the treatment. Like it just sucks. And on that note, like there's a lot of people making these. I think everyone's making this obvious, like historical comparison in their minds to the 1918 epidemic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because I feel like a lot of the people are saying, "Oh, we got to get the economy back going again," or like the people that are worried about the Great Depression, right? That eventually followed that. But it's like people are forgetting that in between that, like there was the 20s, right? And that it wasn't. It's not even the same scenario. Woodrow Wilson never issued any sort of anything in the way that, like, I'm not trying to like be a Trumper here, but legitimately Donald Trump went on TV at one point and said, "This is going to be really bad. It could last till August. It's going to be huge. Go home, stay home." Right? He said that because I canceled all my events.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if that motherfucker said it's time to stay home, it's definitely time to stay home. And Woodrow Wilson never did that. So during that, some cities did social distance and others did not. So we didn't even have like what we have in place now. And that's not even going into the way the economy works then versus the way the economy works now.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it also has to do with like this iconoclastic view of history and, just like, oh, the entire Depression was a miserable fucking time and everybody was living in a cloud of dust. And like, that's not necessarily true.
And the Depression definitely wasn't caused by the 1918 flu specifically. It was caused by a whole bunch of things, like them bottoming out the price of gold and war and all kinds of other like economic failures had to happen, and they were mainly economic failures from like the super rich bottoming everything out for like the normal person. It's essentially what happened.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's why America was not even quick to. The whole theme of World War I is like a bunch of problems caused by the super rich.
Yeah.
Like, Right. Some guy in Hungary didn't call his cousin in fucking Moscow fast enough, and their brother in Germany lost his shit, and then a bunch of other countries like, well, if Stevie's doing it, I'm doing it. And then pretty soon Americans were like, why do we give a fuck about who killed some dude in Hungary?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was brief, and there was like this big build up, and again, not a historian, so I probably shouldn't rant too hard on that, but I am a veteran in a truck.
Yeah.
And I know about war, and I know about army camps, and I know about getting sick in army camps. And people got, I actually got, I showed up to basic training with mono or ad, either way.
Ooh.
So
that sucks.
Yeah, I know. I literally had an STD when I arrived at the army.
Nice. Way to go.
That's how much of a veteran I am. Like if you count mono as an STD, then I've had 5 STDs. High score.
You're so good at being a veteran. STDs. Wow.
Oh my god. I got a truck and just like a lot of I think one of the first cases of the epidemic was like in an army camp in Riley, Kansas, right? The 1918 thing. I remember reading that just recently. Maybe the source is bullshit, but so it's just different circumstances. We're certainly in different circumstances. Hey, here's my veteran hot take on the guy in charge of the aircraft carrier.
Okay, yeah, let's hear that.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know the whole story, right? But I do know it sounds like the devil in the details part of it is like the Navy, the top brass of the Navy say that he would follow the proper channels first, but the Secretary of the Navy had to resign. So I feel like maybe they did, like maybe he did and they weren't listening to him. And if he did and they weren't listening to him, then that's fucking awesome leadership, because that's like a real concern. And honestly, there's a bunch. I feel like there's all these armchair veteran opinions like, we've got one strategic asset down. No, and it's like, yeah, I mean, these are cool plans and shit, but it's like, don't freak out. We've got another boat going out there to fuck with Chinese boat, right? No problem. And this is not 1918, man. And look at what good all that bullshit did them. That didn't fucking help them out one bit. Having all those fucking retarded plans is literally what popped the war off. Mm-hmm. It was because the Russians had this mobilization plan that they just fucking fired off, and the Germans literally had a plan that was like, Russians start popping off, we pop off. That's never been. I mean, that's like the Cold War ended because we realized that wasn't good. Yeah,
mutually assured destruction, man. It's a bummer.
Yeah, honestly, it's. I mean, like I love that our military could kick the shit out of everybody. That we're like running all these low key my unironic patriotic opinion is that the global war on terror is just like what the U.S. Army needs to be relevant everywhere in the world all the time.
Yeah,
it's like you want to start a war. It's like, oh, okay, well, we just killed your neighbors for like the last 15 years. Are you saying you want some too? Like, great, because we don't know how we're going to ship all this stuff back stateside anyway, so we'll just fucking drive it over.
Yeah.
No problem. I mean,
the war on terror is never going to stop, I don't think.
No, and Arcadia.
Because we keep creating more, like, the more people we bomb, the more terrorists we create, so, like, it's just going to keep going.
Well, I also think it's part of a deliberate strategy on the part of, like, our entire military-industrial complex.
Yeah.
To be like, yeah, this low-key shit is actually very profitable, and it puts us in a really good position for the next war.
Yeah.
They're not wrong.
Always ready.
Strategy. Well, it's not a bad fucking strategy, man. I mean, it's honestly not. So I actually, like, I am a full-on patriot in that sense. Like, I think it's a decent strategy. They're volunteers. Like, we have effectively prevented, major terrorist attacks on the order of 9/11 since then. Probably because, like, they're all too busy trying to keep us from blowing up their fucking grandma's house or whatever. Which is fine. Fuck their grandma. I love my grandma. Well, no, I don't. But, well, one of them I did. But the other one, she was really a bad person. But that's what I'm getting at. Some grandmas aren't even good people.
Yeah, maybe all the people that are against the restrictions on going outside, Maybe they don't like their grandmas. Maybe that's what it is. Because I have noticed that there's a lot of people that are like, well, some old people got to die to save the economy, so.
Yeah, or some sick people, right? Like how, you know, and it's funny because there's an argument people use for that where they're like, well, they can't tell me what to do. It's like the Holocaust, or like, you know, what are you going to do when they come for you, man? You know, someone's got to take a stand somewhere, and it's like, right, but on the same foot, you're going to be like, fuck old people.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a lung problem, pussy. Or you have diabetes, God hates you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, it's the same. That's the same, like, bullshit line of reasoning.
I agree.
You know, it's the same bullshit line of reasoning that makes assault rifles and partial birth abortion these things that, like, people are like, I can't give a fucking inch. You know, because it's like, if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And it's like, no, if everybody gives a few inches, then we meet in the middle or something, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think you definitely hit the nail on the head there. Like, that's what literally everyone thinks, that, like, we have one thing happen, and that means that, like, this whole slew of other things are going to happen. And
right.
Like, no, that's not true. But as with any politics, it's just like you have to be extreme. And people think that the only way they're going to get anything done is by being extreme, when it just creates more of a rift.
To some degree, that's true, though.
Well,
to some degree, that is true. Like,
yeah, for extreme cases, I think that there is not many times where it's required for you to be extreme. I think that you can probably get things solved by not being extreme and maybe meeting in the middle, or at least discussing your viewpoints with someone else that has a different viewpoint than you. Because just by, like, when people go from, like, 0 to, like, okay, so you think that women should be able to choose what they do with their bodies, so you want to kill babies? Like,
right.
Like, just those two extremes are just dumb. And it's the same with the people that are like, I want to be able to go where I want to go during the coronavirus. Okay, so you want everyone to die? Sure, not all of those people want everybody to die, but, like, they value their freedom over your health. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, again, I feel like the people really doing that are in the minority.
Huh?
To be honest.
What?
Like, I feel like the people who are protesting that, like, a lot of people are talking shit about it, but not a lot of people are actually going out and protesting. Right? Like, because I think ultimately a lot of people are scared still.
Yeah, I mean, in Southern California, they had a protest at Huntington Beach, and I think 100 people showed up, something like that. Which,
yeah, I mean, that's
not a ton, but it's a decent amount.
Considering the population of Southern California, though, that's like,
I mean, it's
not.
It's more people, a lot less people showed up to the protest than have the Rona in LA. That's for sure. I think there's like 700 deaths so far or something in LA from coronavirus. Something like that.
Damn. That seems kind of low, actually.
Actually don't know for sure what the number is. But, I mean, it's like 7... I just read today that our mortality rate is at like 3 or 4% in California from coronavirus.
But that probably just means there isn't enough.
Well, yeah, they just now started testing everyone. That's the other problem. Obviously, a lot of people aren't getting tested or can't get tested, or like it's just an assumption that they have the Rona.
A lot of people not understanding. Still, basically a month after we realized this was a big deal, we still don't have testing we need to understand what's going on.
Yeah, that would make a huge difference, but
yeah. So it's almost like it doesn't move, it's like 2-week cycles. That's slow for this society. Yeah. That's hella slow for society. There is no new relevant information for 14 days at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we just had a mini, like, Cuban Missile Crisis standoff with Iran, and it was over in, like, 6 days or something, right?
Yeah.
So, 14 days is like, I mean, can you think of a time when anything has been the topic of media attention in this way for this long? Since maybe like the beginning of the Iraq-Afghan wars?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
As like a constant major news story. So, on that note, people that think that it's getting blown up in the media, I mean, it is, but at the same time, like, the thing that I don't get, that people, when people complain about, like, news stories that are being shared or, like, the media bias and blah, 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 like, obviously, the way that media makes its money is by creating content that they think you're going to watch or you're going to click on. You're the one clicking on it. You're the one we are the people that are driving what the media report on. By clicking on stuff.
Spencer did say something pretty valid about like the way that you derive the actual death rate versus the way that a lot of news stations are choosing to report it.
Yeah.
Or news sources are choosing to report it, and that's definitely relevant. I mean,
we got to go back and find the Spongler files.
Yeah, no, it's way back in that chat somewhere. But I see everyone's angry around the internet now, though. Look, what people being mad in friendly chats.
I mean, that's just what you have to do on the internet when this is a time of crisis. Now is the time to get mad on the internet and fight with people. Let it all out in the open. All your feelings about everything.
Well, because we don't have anything else to do, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we're just fucking hanging out here being dumb assholes on the internet to each other because everybody's scared about the future. Basically. Like, if you're not, must be nice.
Yeah. I think our chat has pretty much all agreed that cell phone towers cause the Rona.
Dang. We're just having bad interaction there.
I mean, that's the joke. I'm glad that everyone watching this so far does not legitimately think that.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming that the only people watching this are people that know us.
True.
And it's like, it's your channels. Everybody's, there's probably like, who's this guy? Oh, it's that guest star from season 7. Well, yeah, she brought him back again.
Hopefully this will make this Patriot podcast so big that all the dum-dums will click on it. Because they'll be like, yeah, I'm going to find out how those cell phone towers are causing the Rona from this veteran in his truck. Because he knows everything.
Okay, yeah, because I am a veteran in my truck.
Yeah, we're trying to grab all those people, man.
Am I the truck veteran and you're the 2A girl?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you have a gun.
Yeah. I just need to be more. I need to go on more rants so I can be more like.
You're pretty pro Second Amendment, though.
I am.
Not even ironically. I mean, how do you feel about additional background beyond what's already required?
How do I feel about what?
Like, do you want additional background checks beyond what's required?
Actually, yeah.
You do? Okay.
Well,
what's your beef?
Maybe not. I wouldn't say necessarily that's the whole thing. I think that the measures that are already in place need to be enforced. Like, that the major problem with most of our gun control laws is that they're not being enforced. Like, background checks are like, there's so many background checks that fall through the cracks. There's so many people that aren't doing their job, that we're not following up on stuff, that we miss stuff, and like.
If I recall correctly, I think there are 50 people who do. If anybody knows this, hit me in the chat. Knows exactly what it is, but I believe there's like 50 people who work in the FBI background check for the firearms purchases, and that's up from 25 because Obama added 20.
Yeah, that's not even close to enough.
Right. So it's like if that system just worked.
Yeah.
You know, because part of it is I believe many states have this loophole, or maybe it's just for the whole background check system, that if they don't get back exclusive information in some period of days, they just have to sell you the gun anyway. And I think it's like 11 days or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like they can just sell it to you anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like we could just fund that. I mean, I don't know where the universal background check buzzword kind of came from. Because it's like, well, we do have that. What's more universal for the United States law enforcement reporting system than the FBI?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's just that we have the system in place. It's just not staffed, and so it's not working. Like that's the main problem.
Yeah, it's not adequately staffed. But I guess what I'm saying is you're not some proponent of like new gun laws.
No, I agree with everybody that like we should be able to own whatever we want to own, but like
right, like you don't give a shit about magazine legislation, or you don't think do you think we should be able to own machine guns?
Yeah.
Silencers?
Yeah, I think you should be able to own whatever you want.
Grenade launchers?
But I also believe that if you're an idiot that talks about it all the time or makes threats all the time or any of the above, then you should get your guns taken from you because you're obviously not responsible.
Yeah, but it's like free speech, right? As long as you don't threaten anybody.
Well, that's what I said. Specifically, like if you're threatening people in any way, then like
that's fair.
You're just an idiot, really. Like
yeah. I mean,
your gun is there for your protection, not to like kill somebody because you're mad at them.
Right. I don't know. Again, it's like I don't know why people are letting everyone know what guns they have in their truck.
What?
You know, like why would you reveal what firearms you have in social media? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or at least where they are. I don't know. Luckily, I have a gun in this truck.
Luckily what?
Luckily, I have a gun in this truck.
Good. Everywhere. Don't give away your plan, Josh. Everyone will know.
I didn't say where.
Okay. I think we've been streaming for a while. It feels like. Seems like a good time. I'm getting a little drunk, so it's a good time to end the stream.
No, that's fair. Yeah, we'll try again. We'll see what the internet says next week.
So if you guys are watching this either now or at a later date, since this is going to stay up, let us know what biased opinions you want Josh and I to give. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Jacob Casey gave us some more money, so we're pretty much rich. Did Carol Baskin kill her husband? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
I think everyone agrees that Carol Baskin, she
either killed him or she knows who killed him.
Yeah, she's definitely involved in some way, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt.
Oh, Confederacy bullying. That's a good one, E-House. It's a good one for us to talk about.
Confederacy. Yeah, I feel like Confederacy bullying is really important. So I bullied somebody pretty hard on the internet. I doxed him, so to speak.
Wow.
Because it was like he literally opened up with like some threat, like veiled threats towards my family. Like, well, I can't believe you talk to me that way and be all public with your family on your profile. It's like, were you gonna kill my family, dude?
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, like, but he got really triggered because I posted a meme about loser flag, and it's like, of course, the guys from Northern California, right? No historic connect, like Italian immigrant sounding name from Northern California.
Yeah, especially.
Yeah. And just like the people were like, it's about states' rights. And then you're like, yeah, but Dred Scott's decision proves that it wasn't really about states' rights. It's like about southern states wanting the states to let them have slaves no matter where, no matter what. Like the Dred Scott decision, it's like states' rights, but to slavery, and you have to,
Yeah, they literally wrote, I think the exact quote is, let there be no mistake. This is about states' rights to own slaves. That's the whole sentence. Let there be no mistake. This is about states' rights to own slaves.
Sure.
So
that's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it's about.
Well, but the justification of the case is like they want Illinois, a non-slave state, to enforce slavery in their state.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where like for me that's where because right like you could retreat to the like, hey man, just let a country boy live the way he does, and it's like sure maybe, but now you want to come up here and make me live that way too. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, I'm not. You know, Dred Scott is my tenant, fucker. He's not your property. You know, that's all there is to it, right? Like, So, you know, that's like a stupid historical lost cause idea. You know, Lee himself said, this is a direct quote from him after the war, that like on the subject of monuments and memorials, and he said that maybe it's better for that flag to just slip into, you know, the void than to be, that's not the exact quote, but like, you know, to fade from memory so that we can all heal and move on. And so I think it's particularly crazy. But the Stars of Bars has become this catch-all for like anti-government sentiment. Because if you look at like the Eastern Republic, you know, the DPR separatist people in Eastern Ukraine, like they are literally using that in an homage, right? And potentially to garner, you know, people with anti-government sentiment, you know, support in the U.S. But you know, it's just very, very. Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard to figure out. Like, you know, people get jazzed about the Confederacy because of all the battle, fucking awesome generals, and you know, all that. Like, oh, you know, these dudes from this state, whoopity whoop. But like, it's just not. You know, it's not. It's like there are many things about the Civil War that are more interesting than trying to make it seem as if the Confederates were just the finest, bravest soldiers that ever. Like, it's just the same way people do it with, like, the Germans in World War II, where it's just like, well, the entire tank is just the greatest thing that's ever existed. It's like, well, 80% of its fuel supply was in horse-drawn cart. So that's not that fucking smart, is it?
Right.
Yeah, you know, like, come on, guys. Like, yeah, they had some good ideas. Uniforms by Hugo Boss, good idea. Badass big old tanks with big fucking guns and thick armor, good idea. Horse-drawn supply chains, not so good. Ethnic cleansing of people who work in economics, rocket launching, nuclear physics. Didn't work out so fucking great for them, did it? You know, it's like not hard to figure that shit out. And it's kind of the same, you know, I just, fuck, man. You know, I just don't, I mean, you know, in a historical context, it's legitimate. But most Confederate flags you see displayed are not even really what the Confederate flag of the Civil War era looked like, nor the flag probably of their states or regiments, which were more likely associated. I mean, it's the same way that everybody thinks that, like, all soldiers in the American Revolution wore blue coats and flew the Betsy Ross, you know, circle star 13 stripe, which is, like, not the case at all.
Yeah.
People obviously, everybody has, like, their own iconic, like, sort of this is how history is, views of things, so whatever, man. But Confederates should be bullied. It's a fucking stupid idea.
Yeah, great. So, we've got one topic to talk about on our next stream. Lastly, before we sign off, it's a hot topic that people want to know since you're a veteran in a truck. What kind of truck are you in, Josh? It's very important.
I am in a F-150 XL Sport 5.
Made in America, brother.
It is a 2019, and it has 36,705 miles since I got it.
Less than a year ago.
About a year.
Year ago ish. Yeah.
A year ago ish. I got it in May of last year.
Dial says Josh is so hot right now.
Oh, Nigel.
Nigel's here for you, man. Cool. All right, you answered the question correctly. Good job, Josh.
You're welcome. I'll be honest with you. I think if you have the XLT trim, it's like too decadent. You're too bougie to be a truck.
Too bougie.
The best thing about the XL trim is like the rubbery, like fucking hose out and screw.
Yeah.
Like obviously, as you can see, podcast, I smoke an enormous amount of marijuana, and it's easier to just like sweep it out and like mop it.
Yeah, the smell doesn't stay.
If you ever rode in my previous vehicle, I actually a lot in that vehicle. Man, do those carpets smell bad.
Yeah, they do.
And they kind of still do. I sold it to my landlord, and it still kind of
smells like weed. Nice.
or his weed ash, to be honest. Hard to.
Yeah, it could be.
All right, so we'll have a hot, new, nasty topic next week. Something maybe we don't.
Yeah, let us know.
Shout out to my niece and my nephew. My nephew just sold his YouTube channel with one follower to $18.35.
That's pretty good.
If you want to go, check out my channel, you can't because it's a problem. But maybe she can guest star or something and get dollars.
Yeah, all right. So we'll be back with this stream again either next week or a week from now. We'll decide how often we're going to do it. Leave your comments. Let us know what you want us to talk about, what beliefs you want us to affirm or talk shit about. Either one. We can do both. We both have a lot of opinions about everything. So,
it's true.
Yeah.
We're also very smart doctors.
Yeah.
Reverend lawyers.
Yeah.
You name it.
We have all of the degrees and everything.
Well, I'm a veteran, so I know about everything. I learned about it in basic training, where I was immunized against the coronavirus.
Yeah. Oh, Dayton just joined. All too late. Yeah, bro. Sorry.
Really? Yeah, I gotta go.
No Canadians here.
We'll never see Dayton again.
We'll never see Dayton again. No one can come here.
He's closing down the.
Oh, rip. Oh. Okay, sorry, Dayton. Right. Love everybody. Oh, Josh is already gone. So it's over. Thanks for watching, everybody. That was great.
Oh. All right, bye, everyone.
Okay, bye, everybody.